All right, we are live with the one and only DEBO'S Fishing, the
What's
man,
up?
the myth, the legend, and
Something like that.
excited to have him on tonight.
Yeah, man. Excited to join.
I think all of my viewers know who you are, but hopefully there's some new viewers here that'll get to see DEBO for the first time. What up to Little B? John, Adam, how you guys doing, man? We got a celebrity in the house tonight. Fishing celebrity.
Brad Pitt? Who's just jumped in?
Heck yeah. Well, I know, one thing I've noticed about your channel, that you really are an educator. And I think that's awesome. I also think that's why you're probably as successful as you are. You're down to earth. People can really connect with you and can tell you're sincere. You've definitely got a love of fishing. And if you go back and kind of look at your most popular videos, a lot of them are teaching videos where you're teaching techniques and basics about fishing.
Yep.
And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, I was just throwing up a live. Hopefully we can get some more people in here on my my Instagram real quick.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's funny because I forget who it was. Somebody just brought up, gosh, who was that? Somebody just said I was back looking at some of your old videos, and like your first video was like a hook how-to or like a hook informational thing, and I chuckled because they said when you were standing in front of your sheet in your garage. I'm like, yeah, like I didn't know what to do for a backdrop, so I just put like an old black sheet there, and I was talking in front of it. But yeah, I think it's actually my like third video was how to use a baitcaster. And it's gone over 1 million, like 1.5 million, something like that. I don't remember, but yeah, crazy, man.
And I'll tell you, when you're new to fishing, man, a baitcaster is intimidating. It's like, geez, how do you make this thing work? It's just crazy, and you destroy your line, and it's so much. Once you learn it, nothing to it. But boy,
yeah, and I think it's kind of that stigma that people put around it too, like, oh, because. I no clue why, but I'll go like read comments on that still. Like, I'll get a comment that pops up like, oh, it's how to use a bait caster. And it's like, pick up a spinning rod, idiot. And you won't have to mess it. And it's like, you get those kind of people like, barking at you when you're going to pick up one. It's like, that's intimidating. It's like, I've heard 5 people say it's hard. I'm not even going to try it. When it's just like anything else. You first started riding a bike or you first started to play basketball, like anything, you just got to do it. You're not just going to pick it up and become a master, So.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Okay, Top Cat, Gary, how's it going, man? Honeybee, Eagle, Ron, how you guys doing? Tom, Pop Tart, did you get your stuff, Pop Tart? Man, ninth child, thanks, buddy. I'm happy to hear that. Wiggle warts are. Debo and I were talking about wiggle warts before we went live. And it's kind of a sickness. I live in Missouri and the Ozark region down here. A lot of guys throw these in the springtime, and so you can't not throw them. But there's something really cool about them. There's something cool about all kinds of lures, quite frankly. Some people don't get it, but fishing tackle, man, so much fun when it comes to
a rabbit hole to go down.
The beauty of fishing tackle, and you're a fishing tackle artist now, man.
Yeah.
How'd you get into that?
Let's see. I started. It's going to be coming up on 2 years here in like December. I think I started, and it was really just out of necessity. You and I were talking earlier about the sickness that is buying tackle and collecting tackle, and like I've always been a tackle nut. Like the story always comes up. My mom and dad always joke about because when I was little, I used to have like a super full tackle box, and like it was my pride and joy. And I took it to school for show and tell, and like all the kids were like mixing stuff around, And I got home and I was so upset because everything was all out of place. And actually I ended up leaving that on the boat ramp, and somebody took it. We got home and I realized I left it there. So Dad and I went back, but it was gone by that time. So I was crushed.
Oh,
but
that's brutal.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been a tackle nut since I was a kid, but like you and I were talking about, it gets to the winter here in Iowa and we freeze up in, December, we'll say. Everything's froze over. You can go ice fishing. And I hated ice fishing for the longest time because my old man would take me out when I was little and I'd set my butt on a bucket and it was cold as hell and I hated it and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I gave it up for a long time. I just recently got a hut and like a little heater, and that's a complete game changer. I had never fished that way. And it's a whole different ball game. But one of the things was out of necessity, like you and I were talking, in the winter you can shop tackle, but it's like, what else can I do? And, Marling Bates lives, just right here by me. And then watching Jen Cravasi, doing her paintings and stuff. I'm like, dude, that would be fun. Like, I'm not an artist. I have zero artistic background. I can maybe draw a stick figure if I'm lucky. So it was a very steep learning curve for me, but just something that I could do in the winter and do fishing related things. And the bug kind of bit me, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, I know a lot of guys, I've seen comments about how much they like your stuff, and it looks like you're sold out of everything right now, though. I went to your site today.
I am. Everything's sold out.
There available.
Yeah, I know. On my second drop, I'm working on stuff. Work and stuff has been a little crazy. Some stuff in my personal life, but I am working to get a whole bunch more loaded soon.
So, what do you do in the real world?
I am an operations manager for a large insurance company. So I manage one of a couple managers that helps manage like the day-to-day operation type stuff. To make sure everything goes smoothly. Very exciting, let me tell you.
Yeah. I work in operations too on the construction side. I know all about the headaches of operations, the stress.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
making sure the wheel keeps running.
Right on. Michael Stake, how you doing, buddy? Frank, Eagle Ron, Fisherman 83. What have you been up to, man? Illumin Nathan. Debo, I want my chain back. Don't know what that's about.
That's a reference to the Friday movies. And that's actually, okay, so funny story. That's not where I got my name. People think that, what was his name? Tiny Lister or Linden? I forget what his name. He actually just passed away a couple months ago, the dude that played him. But it's about the Friday movies. Debo's the dude in there, kind of the bully that takes Ice Cube and Chris, gosh, what is it? I can't even think of his name now. Is it Chris Tucker? Was that his name? We're in the first one. But that's not where I got my name from. It was actually from my coach. I did MMA for like 12, 13 years.
Oh, awesome.
And my coach, and everybody on the team started calling me that. It was actually before that, but it just stuck. No clue why. You
seem to be a pretty mild-mannered guy to be to do MMA, but I guess it's all about what's inside, huh?
Yeah, a lot of the dudes are. A lot of the people that would train, you'd never know. You get the meatheads that would come in, but they have to check their ego pretty quick.
Yeah, right on. Hey, Yubnub, I got mine, my mystery tackle box. So I don't know, buddy. I know that they don't let those go until like the 8th. I think their goal is that they don't start hitting your house until about the 9th of September. So I would say it's got to be here any day. Let's see here. Texas Huntsman, Kyle. John, Debo versus McGregor. Right on. That would be interesting.
Not even close. He would punch me. I remember I had been training for a couple years, and they would have seminars like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu seminars. And it was a guy by the name of, why can I not think of his name right now? He was big. Around here, I can't even think of it. I used to carry his dollar bill. I can't even believe I can't think of his name. Anyway, he was somebody that was close, and we had actually traveled and trained with him with some of his guys. And then he came here and did a seminar, and he weighed like 140 pounds. And so it was 620 of 04. Oh yeah, Jeff Curran. Jeff Curran had a school up here. His name was Big Frog, and I still carry the dollar bill to remember it when he signed it.
Wow.
Back in, 05, I guess is what, was 05?
That's cool.
I had it written somewhere here. 04. Yeah, 04. So I've always carried that because that was when I had the big reality check of, like, we thought we were decent, training and stuff, but he weighed like 140. and I'm like 190. I was probably walking around at 200 then. And man, he just twisted me up into knots and submitted me so many times. It was crazy how strong he was.
Wow.
So yeah,
My
gotta
daughter's
check
gotten
video.
into jiu-jitsu. Gracie.
Oh, awesome.
Is that stuff? Gracie, is that it?
A Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? Yep.
Yeah. That's what she's into.
Awesome.
And, apparently it's pretty good self-defense for ladies.
Very good self-defense. Yep.
So
nine out
she's
of
really
10
enjoying
times
it.
a street fight's going to go to the ground. So jiu-jitsu is an excellent way to defend yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm not getting in any fights unless you try to take my fishing tackle.
That's me now. Yeah, I'm old and fat now. So
well, it's fun to have you on tonight.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to hit you up with a few questions and then kind of carry on with some of the other stuff that we're doing. Okay, guys. Tonight, as part of our Spin to Win giveaway, I'm going to be asking you questions like I always do, but some of these, the vast majority of the questions are going to be about Debo himself. So for those of you who say, I don't know, I don't ever know these lures you're asking me to identify. Well, tonight you don't have to identify a lure. Although I have one or two that I am going to throw in there.
Ooh, I like it.
All you got to do is you Debo homers that watch everything he produces. These should be easy for you. And that'll make it fun. But we've got some pretty good stuff to give away tonight. You guys know all about the tackle buckets that we give away. I'm going to go over the wheel here real quick just so any newbies. So this is how this works. I ask a question. First one on the comments to answer it correctly gets to spin the wheel. If you land on a 1, you get 1 prize. If you land on an X, you strike out. If you land on a 2, you get 2 prizes. This is kind of our specialty box. This week we're giving away the Dark Horse Tackle subscription box. If you guys remember this, got some specialty lures in it. In fact, I'll show you the one specialty lure in here that everybody loves. You may have been painting some of these, Debo. Haven't you painted some of these similar to this?
Yep, the S-crank looking thing. Yeah.
So this is their goldfish color, and kind of an interesting color.
I want to say my buddy Ray from Sleigh Right painted that. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
It might be. Let's see. That's right. It is. It's Sleigh Right Fishing. It absolutely is.
He's a good cat. Yeah, he actually helped me when I first started. One of few people. It was interesting because I had asked questions to like a few people who had been doing it for a while. And it's kind of like the fishing thing. Like some people keep their fishing secrets and they're like, oh, real wishy-washy about like trying to help me. And there's other people that are like, oh yeah, try this, look at this place. He was one of them. So
yeah,
shout out to him.
He's in the Dark Horse. He's in the Dark Horse box. Do you do any of these subscription boxes?
I don't know. I can barely even keep up with putting my own lures out. So
Dark Horse Tackle. Well, this one of my subscribers recommended to me, and they're more into custom type lures like the Sleigh Right guys. And I've only done one of these so far. It's interesting. I don't know. One thing about it is it's a cheaper price than a lot of them out there. Most of them are in the $35 range. That one's a little cheaper. I think probably around $25. So if any of you guys are into want to look at some custom stuff, you might want to look at Dark Horse Tackle. So that's what you win if you land on that. If you land on the Angel, you get a prize, and you get to pick one other person in the comments to win a prize. If you land on KVD, the greatest angler of all time, you get something out of the KVD crate. If you land on Mr. Bass, that's the jackpot. You get 3 prizes.
Boom! This is cool. I've seen you with the wheel and stuff, but I didn't know like what everything on there was.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. I'm debating. Actually, the guys love this, but I've been looking at some of the electronic wheels, and I got my old school wheel, and I think I'm going to stick with the old school wheel at least for a while. Booster and Kick Your Bass. How you guys doing, man? Good to see you. What's this here? I can tell where Mr. Bass is based from on the baits. Yeah, that is true. You can, I mean, quite frankly, we all gravitate towards what works in the geographical part of the country that we live in. And Debo and I actually live kind of in the central part of the country, so we probably throw a lot of the same baits. But you know, you go down to Florida, like my buddy Steve, shallow grass. That's all he has to fish in. So the amount of lures that he fishes with are a lot smaller selection, just because he's always fishing in shallow grass. But very good point. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask our first question and see if we can get a prize going on the board here. All right, this is a question about Debo's latest video, not his latest live video, but just his latest video that he published. He was fishing a jig. This is a two-part question, so you got to give me two answers. What kind of jig was it, and what's the name of the company that he was fishing that made the jig? So what kind of jig? Who makes the jig?
You need to get a. Yeah.
John Gill. John Gill, maybe one of the most winning guys on the channel.
John's a good cat. I love like seeing. I don't know if these are all regular people in your channel, but like a lot of people that I know, like people that are in my channel. That's what I love.
Yeah, these guys watch all the channels, man. They're everywhere.
I love it.
I mean, these guys are as addicted as we are. But John Gill is a young man who he lives in Canada. I've gotten to know him quite well through the channel, and he wins all the time.
I believe I've sent him a pack of stuff.
Yeah,
I want to say he won one on mine, or I think John. Did I send you something before? I want to say I remember sending something up to you.
Now, speaking of swim jigs, that Cumberland Pro lure swim jig, I started fishing it because Burley sent me one in a tackle exchange. First time I'd fished with it, and I love that swim jig. It is really special.
Was it the new ones with the fiber guard, or was it the one with the wire guards, like the V wires?
It's the one with the wire guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. The one I was using is the new one. It's I want to say they call it the True Track swim jig. It actually has a brush guard on it now.
Interesting.
So yeah, he's got a couple different options over there. Good dude. I've had the pleasure of talking to him. But I got a couple of those to fish. And it's funny because I got him in my order, and then I shared that like back when I got him on Instagram. Yeah. And I went to get a couple more, and gone off of Tackle Warehouse. So
bam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a there's a lot that Cumberland Pro Lures makes that I actually like quite a bit. Oh, so John says you did you sent him 2 custom painted lures.
I thought you won one. Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right, John, let's spin the wheel here for you and see where it lands. Now, one thing that 3! Holy cow! Now, John's probably kicking himself because a couple of months ago, I quit sending baits to Canada. So what I do for my Canada guys is I just send them gift cards. So he's going to get 3 gift cards, which is pretty sweet.
That's awesome. Congrats, dude.
But congratulations, John Gill. Dude, we don't have many people that land on the jackpot, so that was excellent. Good job, dude. Good job.
Cha-ching.
All right. So what's your fishing story? Like, how'd you get into it? Sounds like you mentioned your dad, so sounds like you were fishing as a kid.
Yep. Yeah, my 30-second elevator speech for fishing is started fishing with my old man as young as I can remember. I don't know, 5 years old. He had me out in the John boat, which funny enough, the John boat you all see in my videos, the aluminum kayak, I call it, was actually the boat that he bought when I was like 5 years old. And then it got stored at my grandpa's barn. And then I just recently got it. So it's that old.
Awesome.
Yeah, but fishing with my dad, we go out with my dad and grandpa, but really my dad, because he's had a boat ever since I've, been old enough to fish. So he had like an older bass tracker. Now he's got like an Alumacraft Deep V, for like the rivers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's always been him. And he sparked my joy of it. And he used to be hardcore, like, every Friday, Saturday night they were going and, doing like little work league type stuff with guys. And then he was just working so much. He kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, but hoping we can get him now. He's retired now. So I'm hoping we can get him back out fishing a little bit more.
Heck yeah. Well, a John boat is a pretty special little thing. And before the kayak world, that's kind of what everybody would go to that couldn't buy a $70,000
Right.
fiberglass bass boat. And a John boat will last forever and ever and ever.
Yep.
Even when they start leaking, it's no big deal. You can still just keep running them.
Dude, that's what mine was doing. It was leaking. I had to use like the top of my battery box to like bail out every 35 minutes. But yeah, you got some JB Weld Marine Weld stuff, fixed it up. No issue now. It's just like a little 11 footer. It's not very stable. I'd reckon to say that the kayaks now are more stable than my John boat.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about fishing, getting a kayak or anything like that?
I have, yeah, and it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's like I have that, and I can do pretty much anything I can do in a kayak with that little John boat. So it's like I can't,
for sure.
Like I just can't justify buying one. If I got rid of that and got like a bigger bass boat, like a 17-foot, nothing fancy, then I would. But
yeah,
I don't know. For now, I can't justify it.
Yeah. So I got into kayak fishing, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I bought my first kayak, but that was before they had pedal drives. And I would really not recommend that. Trying to paddle a kayak and fish is insanity. I mean, there are guys who like doing it. Yeah. There are guys who like doing it. In fact, Drew Gregory likes doing it. He's one of the most famous kayak fishermen out there. But dude, I mean, your part of the country is probably similar to mine. We get a lot of wind here. I mean, it very rarely is it just a flat, calm day. And trying to fish a kayak in a bunch of wind with a paddle it's crazy. But man, they're getting so sophisticated with the trolling motors and the pedal drives that it's really pretty fun. So I kind of go back and forth from my boat to my kayak quite a bit now.
It's even hard to do like in my John boat. I've just got the trolling motor on back and trying to fish. Like if you're in a spot and you're getting blown around with that.
Yeah.
I rigged up a little pulley for my anchor, and that thing is like a savior. Like I'll just anchor up and then fish and then, move spots. And just in that little John boat, you get pushed all around.
Well, I know you do a lot of bank videos, so you fish from the bank a lot, quite a bit, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, a lot of it. And a lot of it's out of necessity, and a lot of it, my buddy fishes from the bank, or Randizzle. So, we'll go. I wish I had a boat we could, go out and explore that stuff more. But for right now, we just both go out and hit the old banks.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Bank fishing is still a ton of fun. And it is, there's only what I would say 2 drawbacks to bank fishing among others. If you have to deal with a lot of grass, and that grass really starts to grow out so that you can't get your lure back and forth, that's a problem. And you're going to break off and lose a lot more baits that way.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest thing is just, obviously not being mobile. There'll be days where we'll get on a good bite and there's literally not enough places we can get to replicate that bite all around. Whereas if you're in a boat, you could just kind of cherry pick and hit those sweet spots. You can't do that from the bank. So that kind of stinks too.
No doubt. Poison ivy's a bank drawback. Yeah, could be.
My guy, Chris is another Iowa dude. Hopefully I'll get a fish with him soon. Yeah, I know about the ivy.
Dude, I do too, man. Poison ivy's the worst. Although I have learned over the years that there are ways to keep from spreading over your body that don't require a whole lot of chemicals. They just require soap and knowing what to do.
For sure, yeah. I learned that. I don't remember who it was that shared that, but I watched a thing on it as well, and it's essentially like an oil that gets on your skin off the leaf.
Yeah.
And as long as you scrub with like, is it Dial? Whatever the soap is that they use on like the animals that get caught in the oil.
Yeah.
Or Dawn or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. As long as you do that and actually scrub with like a wash rag, it has saved me so much. But like I used to just go shower, kind of do this and be like, okay, I'm good. And I'd still have it. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You've really got to scrub. Like think of like getting, changing car oil. Like, think of scrubbing like that.
That's absolutely right. That's the key. So I envy people who don't have to deal with that and ticks. We get a lot of ticks in this part of the world.
Yep.
I took my my dog out the other night and came back with ticks, and picking ticks off is at least they wasn't my problem. All right. One of the things I want to talk to you guys tonight, I'm going to start doing a technique of the week and talk a little bit about a technique that's probably going on in your world right now or that you need to start thinking about. And I know Debo can give us a lot of info on this because he knows a lot about fishing a plug, a top water plug. It's also called a spook. This one is a 6 cents model, has a nice big knocker in it. Here's one that Jason Christie throws. This is one of his colors that he really likes a lot. This is the original head and spook. And this is a great, great lure. The thing about topwater plugs is you got to know how to fish them. I remember when I got my very first one, I just threw it out there and reeled it in. Let's cast it, wind it, cast it, wind it. And I had no idea I was doing it wrong. I just, hey, that's what I do. I just get my bait and I throw it out there and I reel it in and I throw it out and I reel it in. That's what I do with all my baits. So why wouldn't I do that with this? And then one day I was with somebody who, you know, knew a lot more than me and said, what the heck are you doing, man? That's not what you do. You walk the dog. So these walk the dog baits, they work year round. They absolutely do. But this time of year, they're really, really important. And you need to be thinking about top water of all kinds this time of year. What's your experience with the top water plug, Debo?
Love them. I don't think I actually had it here for another show when I was on with Mr. Baxter, the bait man. I don't have it here, but I learned to walk it from my dad at a young age, walk the dog. And it was actually with the Zara Head and Spook Puppy, which is the small one.
Yeah.
And it's actually a lot harder to use, but I didn't want to use the big ones. I was scared of the big ones that he had. And I'm like, I want to try this one. He's like, okay, you know, you've got it all figured out. You do it then, you know, whatever. But yeah, love I would say that the spook, head and spook, and the Strike King Sexy Dog are the two that I've had the most success on. I might have the.
So that's the Sexy Dog. I got one right here.
That's is that the chrome one or the white one? The chrome Sexy.
This is the Sexy Shad.
I think that's it. If it's the chrome, is it the chrome under it? The chrome Sexy.
That I don't know. It's very glittery. It's very glittery.
I think that's the chrome Sexy, which has been the one. I can't tell like on the glare or if it's like just all white under. I can't tell from your side, but yeah, the chrome Sexy Shad is probably one of my favorites.
You are right. The Strike King Sexy Dog is an excellent walking topwater bait, guys, and I highly recommend it. He's going to go find one. So this time of year, the shads start moving shallow, and the bass follow them. And you'll get on the lake and there'll be shad busting all over the place, and you need to start throwing topwater lures. And I know there's a lot of guys talking about poppers. Poppers right now work great. There'll be a ton of guys throwing the Whopper Plopper and the Chapo this time of year. But I think some guys don't they kind of avoid the plug because of walking the dog. They haven't learned how to walk the dog. It's another one of those things similar to like learning to use a bait caster. It's something else you got to learn. And I got several friends that are kind of novice fishermen that have never really learned how to walk the dog. So they just don't do it. And you're missing out on some amazing fishing, some amazing blow up, some amazing strikes. Some of the greatest fun you'll ever have is fishing a topwater bait that walks. And this is why you also see all these companies saying, buy our hollow body frog. It's a great walking bait. And all these other types of lures out there, companies try to make it so that it does what it's supposed to do, but it'll also walk the dog. There's something about that walk the dog, shimmy on the water that really drives fish crazy. And I'm not sure what it is, but You got to learn to walk the dog is what I'm saying. If you don't know how to walk the dog, you've got to learn to do that. Have you got by chance, an instructional video on how to walk the dog, Debo?
I haven't. I need to. Actually, I had somebody talking to me about that the other day. I wanted to find this one. This is one that has put in a ton of work. I don't know if you can see all the hook rash and stuff on that.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is that chrome sexy shed, and I couldn't tell from yours, but it's like chrome halfway down.
Yeah,
and the bottom is kind of like a pearl, but
yeah, mine's not like that.
Okay, yeah, yours must just be the all white sexy shed. But you can see underneath it, like it's rubbed off all the chrome, and it's essentially white. But that has been an awesome one for me through the years. Awesome bait, and it really mimics those running bait fish. Like if you see those little minnows and stuff, you know, when bass have them corralled, or you know, you see them feeding to school, you know, they're trying to get away. It's not like they're just running in a straight line.
Yeah, yeah,
you know, they're darting. So that's really right. that walking the dog. It looks like something, you know, a fleeing bait fish, and just, man, it triggers them. It pisses them off.
Absolutely, it does. And you can have, just like any topwater. I mean, topwater fishing is just so fun.
My favorite.
It's a surprise. You know, you're fishing, and then boosh, you get attacked. And let's face it, man, bass are very aggressive, violent predators. And they will destroy your walking bait. So if you don't know how to do it, go watch some videos on how to do it and get out there and practice. And you won't regret it. What I will tell you, and I'd kind of like to hear, your setup, Debo. What kind of a setup do you use for walking the dog? Because it needs to be pretty specific. This is one of those techniques where it's really hard to do with every type of rod out there. You really need kind of a specific setup to make it work, don't you?
Yeah, it depends. Like for me, for the smaller topwaters, I guess like the bigger ones with those sexy dogs, and then I've got a couple bigger ones like the 6 cents, and I'm trying to think like the bigger, what is it, the 5-inch spook or whatever. I've got some of those that I painted up. Yeah. I use a little bit different one on that, but usually it's going to be a smaller, almost like a jerkbait rod that I like fishing from the bank. Now it's going to be a little bit different, probably for a bank guy, but like a 610. Usually it's going to be a medium to a medium heavy, depending on the rod, because they're not all the same. You know, we'll say a soft medium heavy rated for lures up to like 3/4 of an ounce that has a decent tip on it. So it's a decently soft tip so you can walk it, but you don't want it to be so flimsy like a crankbait rod, because as you're trying to walk it, you're just going to be bouncing around everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's kind of my go-to. Otherwise, I go up to just something a little bit stiffer, usually like a 7-foot when I do like the bigger, like sexy dogs and stuff.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you. I usually go with about a 6'10" rod, 6'8" to 6'10" rod, and usually I'm going to start out with a medium action rod with that softer tip. And the reason you want a shorter tip is your tip is almost in the water. And if your rod tip is hitting the water while it's not going to work. So you got to have a short enough rod that when you impart action on the bait, your rod's tip stays out of the water. So the taller you are, the longer the rod you could get away with, even on a boat. There are some guys who like the 7-foot range, but for me, I still, even though I'm 6 foot tall, I still like the shorter rod. And then, what do you fish your spooks, Debo, on mono or braid?
Yep, mono. I was looking. I thought I had another old. It's actually the saltwater. I like the saltwater color of the spook. Strangely enough, it's this like. I can't get it out. That's why I was muted, because this is like my just junk catch-all, a whole bunch of random stuff thrown together.
Yeah.
Zero organization. It's just stuff that I've used. But this is one that has like a holographic deal to it, but I don't know if I'm
nice.
Just to show this like saltwater color, this kind of yellowish bone color. I've got like a little spook puppy, but I was just going to show those two next to each other, because you see like the little puppy versus like a big, sexy dog. There's a huge difference. But yeah, I throw them on mono. I personally don't like straight braid, because when you're walking a dog or doing anything where that lure's moving back and forth, I have the issue of braid getting caught up in it. Whereas if you use mono, It's a little bit stiffer and it kind of sticks out in front of the bait, so you don't have that problem.
I have the exact same problem. If I use straight braid, you're going to get it caught in your hook all the time. It's just annoying as can be. So I same thing. I usually throw 15 to 20 pound mono.
Yep.
Here's another spook. This is the Zell Roland, the original back in the day. That these were very popular. Zell Roland is a pro fisherman who was really very well known for his topwaters. Now Zell Roland claims a popper or a topwater plug should always have 3 hooks. He's totally against the 2-hook plug, but most of them, well, I'd say a lot of them only have 2 hooks. This Sixth Sense one only has 2 hooks. This Head and Spook here, one knocker, only has 2 hooks. The Strike King has 3 hooks. You can't tell maybe because my rubber banded, but the Strike King Sexy Dog has 3 hooks. So the more hooks you have, the better your hookup ratio. But I fish both, to tell you the truth.
Yep, same.
Yeah, looks like a lot of guys on the comments are into topwater fishing. But get yourself a plug, any kind will do. I really like them all, to tell you the truth. But that Strike King's a really good one to start with. Is the Monster Bass Patriot 3.0 like a spook? Yeah, it is. I haven't actually seen the 3.0. I've seen the 2.0. I've had several of the 2.0s, George. And I think the 3.0 is either a different size or a different color pattern. It's probably a different size, but I don't know off the top of my head. Nathan, yeah, I've used Vixens before, and I've got one, I'd say.
I never got any.
So, all right, let's do another question here. Let's see. Okay. Debo has a dog. What's Debo's dog's name? What is his dog's name? Frank removes the middle hooks. I've never done that before.
I've also heard of guys, so I've never tried it, but
all right, William Critchley, you are the first correct answer. Mr. Stubbs or Stubby would have worked as well.
Yeah.
But right on. Congratulations, man. You get to spin to win.
Have you ever tried, before I forget, have you ever tried taking off treble hooks and doing like the J hooks? It's kind of like a saltwater thing, but I've had a bunch of guys ask me if I've ever tried it. I've never done it. I have enough trouble keeping them pinned on a treble hook, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I've done it in Alaska, and it wasn't by choice. There's this ridiculous place I fished up there would not allow treble hooks.
Barbless, was it barbless hooks too?
No, they weren't barbless, but they could only be a single hook, which just annoyed the heck out of me. But no, I've not done that intentionally, and I really can't think of why I would. I'm probably not going to do that. But all right, William, let's spin here and see what you come up with. All right, one prize. Now, I have 3 prize buckets here. One has hard baits in it, one has soft plastics, and one has miscellaneous items. Which would you prefer?
Jim, I see Jim, the tackle junkie's in the house too. He's a good cat.
Yeah, I've been watching his channel for years, man. He the thing that blew me away about his channel when I first started watching it is he wants a hard bait. The dude is so organized. His tackle room is spotless. Everything is perfectly in bins and labels and perfect order and perfect harmony. And then you go out to his garage and the same thing. His boat's immaculate. It's pristine. And I was like, dude, man, this guy has got it going on. And his content's great too.
Dude literally has every bait you can think of at arm's reach whenever I've talked to him. Oh, I happen to have that here, he says, with the whole tackle warehouse wall on his behind him.
I know it. He's got a lot of cool stuff for sure. All right, William Critchley. This is from Team Arc, and it's a topwater bait. It's called the Topwater Blower, the TB115 Topwater Blower. And this color is kind of almost like a trout looking color. What color is this? What do they call this? Mystic Gizzard. Kind of a green gizzard on the top with some purple on the sides. And that looks like a pretty sweet topwater lure. It's 4.5 inches long and it weighs 5/8 of an ounce. So congratulations, William. All right. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know how do I get my prize, just send me a DM on Instagram, and I will send you your prize. Give me your name, your address, mailing address, and what you want. If you are not on Instagram, what's wrong with you? Get on Instagram. No, you don't have to get on Instagram.
TikTok's the big thing now. Everybody moved to TikTok.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok too. I mean, how can you keep up with all this stuff though, man? It's like, geez, I don't have enough time in the day.
Not even going down that path.
But anywho, William, you've not won before. I don't think you have. If you don't have Instagram, you can send me an email at mrbass.tv@protonmail.com. I will put my email address on the screen for a little bit so you guys know. Or at Mr. Bass TV on Instagram. Booster hates TikTok and Instagram. But he likes YouTube because he's on here a lot. So I'm glad I'm at least on one platform Booster likes. Because Booster
also doesn't like kids in his lawn. Stay off his lawn.
Yeah, stay off his lawn. Sweet. Yeah, I've always been amazed by guys like Tackle Junkie and you and others that we were talking about this before. We kind of have this sickness, and so many people I've talked to say, "Look, you got enough, dude. You got it, and look, you got enough. Why do you need more? What do you think it is that sucks us in? Why are we?"
I think it's easy. To me, it's just a separate spin-off of fishing. So you have people like my grandpa used to collect like old Texaco oil cans, oil signs, all that stuff. It's no different. I relate it to the stupid beanie baby thing, bears, whatever.
I remember the beanie babies.
Yeah, I remember that like when I was younger, and like I never understand. I'm like, why are these people collecting bears? It's like to each his own. Everybody's got their own sickness, and it's just like that continuation of fishing is if you can't get out and fish, like it's fun to collect lures and try stuff. And I don't know, I've worked damn hard for my money. So if I want to collect fishing stuff, I'm going to collect fishing stuff.
Heck yeah. All right. Tackle Junkie's talking about a reel. I got to get in on this because what's he saying here? That I will literally never throw. What's he saying there?
I don't know. Jim probably.
I won't be bothered skipping with any other reel. It's literally effortless.
Oh, the DC. I bet he's saying.
Oh, the DC. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Oh, that is DC, baby. I love the DC as well. I mean, dude, the technology. It's kind of funny because in the old days, a bait caster was much harder than it is now. We were talking about trying to get over the stigma of learning a bait caster. If you can afford the $400 or whatever you need to get all of the electronic digital gizmos, dude, it's a thing of beauty. It really is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I haven't tried skipping with the DC. I honestly don't skip a ton. And I've done it enough. I can just skip with the regular bait caster, but I specifically bought the skip and pitch reel from Lew's. It's got a shallower spool, almost like a BFS reel. And I finally took that out and made a point to like go out and skip with it, and actually skips pretty darn well. And like TJ said, he likes it just because it's literally that easy to skip with a DC. it kind of fine tunes it. But the thing I found with a DC is it's not backlash proof. So even if you backlash, you've still got, I don't know, 110, 120 yards, of line it holds.
Yeah.
But the skip and pitch, if you backlash with it, you don't have much on there. Like you can make maybe a good long cast, 130, 140 feet is all that's on there.
I've got one of those.
Yeah. So I think it's cool. The bad thing is it's like $200. So as a beginner, it's like, are you going to really spend $200? That's the only thing that I hate about it.
Yeah. Well, when I saw KVD's video on it, I was like, dude, I got to try this. I got to try it.
He made a bold statement. I remember back on the Instagram thing where he's like, I don't remember what he said, but I remember watching that being like, okay, KVD, man, you got some cojones saying that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a dual purpose reel because, you can skip with it, but you can also flip and pitch with it. You do not need much line at all for flipping and pitching either. So it's got a dual purpose. It's a pretty sweet looking reel. It's out in my boat, or I'd grab it and show it you guys. But it's another one you may want to give it a shot. Speaking of KVD, I was telling the guys on the show the other night, he did on Instagram a pre-tournament deal where he showed all the lures that he had rigged up and ready for Lake Champlain.
Oh,
40. He had 41 reels tied up, rigged up, ready to. 41 rods and reel combinations.
Wow!
I was just like, holy cow, man, that is just insane.
Dude, I would too. I'd pile as many as I could in there.
Yeah. Lake Champlain's a pretty cool place. Have you ever fished Champlain?
I have not. Nope.
I've been up there a few times.
Travel and fish a lot, unfortunately. Just kind of like Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. That's it.
Gotcha. Champlain is a very special place. It's one of those bucket list sort of places. But rough water, man. I've been up there maybe 3 times, and every time it's a rough place, but it's hard to argue with the fishing. Where you're at, do you have what do you have mostly? Largemouth, smallmouth, spots? What's your species of?
I mainly fish largemouth. We've actually got a pretty good mix. Some of the man-made lakes and some of the cutoff lakes have smallmouth. We've got a lot of creek fishing you can do. I just literally don't know where to go. Of course, we have the Mississippi that comes through the guys smash smallmouth on the Mississippi. I can't go there with my John boat. I don't feel anywhere near comfortable doing that. I'd have to go with Dad or something. We were actually just talking about that 3-4 years ago, maybe. We went out on his boat and we're deep cranking over a hole and got on a whole bunch of walleye. Oh man, that was so much fun. So I'm hoping we can do that again. Hope we can hit the Mississippi. But yeah, I know Dad's had good luck on the Mississippi.
I really enjoy walleye fishing as well, man. And I love eating walleye.
Oh, for sure. Man,
that's a good eating fish right there.
Do you have yellow bass down there?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got a couple lakes here. I'm hoping this year maybe we'll get on some more, but we've got a lake here that's really good. It used to be, because they're such a nuisance fish, you could take as many as you wanted. So they would have a yellow bass tournament, and there'd literally be guys driving across the ice, and this is ice fishing, I guess I should say, driving across the ice with 4-wheelers with like those little, pull behind
sleds or something,
like those little wagon things.
Yeah.
And they'd have those like full of yellow bass. And like, dude, there was just so many. And they had no limit because there was so many of them. But talk about good eating, man. I think they're delicious. So
crazy. That sounds awesome. Okay, I'm going to ask a question now for you guys who know nothing about Debo. I saw a couple of comments that said, I'm not going to win anything tonight. So I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to do a name that lure. And all you got to do is tell me what the name of this lure is, and you might win a prize. You might get to spin. So here it is. Name that lure. This is a little unique looking, isn't it? Who knows what this?
Try those yet?
Who knows what this is? Debo's custom lure.
I haven't gotten to the soft plastic yet, so.
Josh, you got it, buddy. The Zucchi bug is what they call it, and it's kind of a creature bait that is, it's patterned after a brush hog. They all are, but Look at these crazy wings on this thing, man. And they say these wings kind of give it a little bit of a gliding action in the water that's a little unique. And then, of course, it has the typical appendages on the end, and it's got this tickle tail in the middle. So this is an intriguing lure. This is by 10,000 Fish, in case you want to look into it. There it is, Zuchi bug. And they call this color smoky Chobe Craw, which is kind of a fun name, but it's pretty much just a watermelon with a little bit of a smoke under the belly.
They've got some cool stuff. I'm kind of surprised by the stuff that they've put out for being like a house company.
The 10,000 Fish, I'm really starting to like a lot, and they got some good. In fact, I got a few others I might show you guys tonight. But when they first came out, I was like, "What's this? This is just another Ketchco brand." But their model or their goal with the 10,000 Fish is they're trying to be JDM like.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're trying to come up with higher quality, more creative type products that might mimic or more JDM level stuff. And I like JDM stuff quite a bit, so I'm a big sucker for that stuff. So, heck, why not? All right, Josh, let's spin the wheel, dude, and see if you are a winner. Oh, I better put the wheel back up here. See if it's electronic. You don't have to worry about that.
Reaching for the imaginary wheel there.
Yeah, the imaginary wheel. Oh. KVD.
Oh, KVD.
You have won out of the KVD crate, which
you win one of his 41 combos that he just showed.
Yeah, you get to win one of the 41 combos. Actually, all right. So I can just kind of look in here and pick for myself. And since we're on the subject of Topwaters, how about the Sexy Dog Junior and Bone?
Good color too.
Sexy Dog Junior and Bone. Congratulations, Josh. Not many guys win anything out of the KVD crate. We don't land on that very often, so I don't know why, because my KVD crate is loaded. I need to
a KVD and a top prize tonight.
Heck yeah, man. DEBO'S good luck. It's got to be what it is.
I like it. I like that you do the giveaways. I try to do one every time. The problem that I got into is I need to hire a giveaway specialist because I got like in a month and a half behind on like getting packages and stuff packed up and ready. I felt like a jerk.
Yeah, but that is it is very time consuming. I try to get them out as quick, same night even sometimes, but you're right. That's kind of brutal. I got a system though where I can crank it out pretty quick. And I'm definitely not on your level, but I do have some great subscribers that send me lures, so I just put them in the buckets. And then I'm probably one of my trademarks, I guess, is that I probably subscribe to more monthly subscription boxes than probably any other YouTuber out there. I subscribe to literally almost everyone there is. So when those come in, I dump them in the buckets too, usually.
Yeah, I saw you one on the MLF deal. Those are kind of interesting.
Yeah, the Major League Fishing's not bad. I mean, it's interesting, and most of their stuff's good. What's your? I know you don't subscribe to it, but what do you think about those subscription boxes?
Man,
waste of money.
No, I don't necessarily say they're a waste of money. I had Lucky Tackle Box back in the day for a couple of years. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like there were cool things in there. I'm trying to think. There was one that I had in there that I really liked. So it's a cool way to try new stuff. But the problem that I was getting into was, I'd get some things that I wouldn't use, then I'd get some cool stuff. And I'm just like, should I do this or, spend that $15 or $20, whatever it was. I don't even remember, just buy some stuff on clearance or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stopped doing it just because I had so much. But if you're somebody trying to up your, tackle stuff, especially if you've never tried a lot of things, I think they're cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on it. Booster, I'll answer this real quick. I am still doing that. I'm just going to do it off the air. What Booster is asking about is over here next to the wheel. I have a drum, and I put tickets in there. If you win, even if you land on an X, your name goes in the drum, and we have a big prize. Usually, when we hit something like when we hit a certain number of subscribers, we gave a quantum smoke reel away a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
And I don't know what the new prize is going to be, but normally right on the air, I'll write your name on the ticket and put it in the drum, but I'm not going to do that tonight since I got Debo on here because this is fairly time consuming anyway. But rest assured, your name will get in the drum. If you're a winner, your name goes in the drum and you will have a chance to win the big prize. So the monthly subscription boxes, I think these things got started as a gift idea. My buddy Debo and I are friends, and I'm going to order a mystery box, and it's going to come to his house, and it's going to be fun and exciting. And now it's morphed into this massive business where there's tons of companies out there doing it. Mm-hmm. And there's pros and cons to both. Some of the pros are you get exposed to products like, for example, this Zuchi bug. If you're subscribing to the mystery tackle box, you'll probably get one of these at some point. Maybe you'll never try it otherwise. You try it and it's amazing, and wow. So getting exposed to new exciting lures, I think, is one. They kind of say it's Christmas every time the box shows up, which is kind of true. Some of the downsides are you might have 3 lures in there you don't like. Yep. And you've basically bought them now. What do you do with them? Well, I put them in my buckets. But most people are not giving lures away. So you can see how it may not always be the best way to spend your money.
Yeah.
Then there's other companies like 6 Sense Fishing who they have their Super 6 sacks. Those sacks are awesome. If you love 6 Sense products, you know what you're going to get every month. You may not know exactly, but you know what you're going to get. No real surprises. And if you're really a huge 6 Sense fan, you can get more product that way cheaper than you could if you just go buy them online. But anywho's it. Okay, let's ask Debo another question. What is your PB and how'd you get it?
7 pounds is my PB. Not real great or big or anything. For Iowa, that's a good sized fish. I think our state record is only 10 pounds, 12 ounces, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was fall. I don't remember how many years ago. It's been quite a while now. But it was on a Beast Coast Miyagi, and I casted it out, and my battery died. And I'm like, oh, should I change it? I'm like, oh, I better. I'm like, my luck, I'll end up catching a fish because I swear, there's the curse of the dead GoPro battery. Like, as soon as it goes dead, I'll call it out. I'm like, I'm gonna catch it. Of course, I catch a fish, and I'm not recording. So I'm like, I better. And like, as I'm flipping it over and like getting it put back in, I see my line starting to move. I'm like, oh, I've got a fish. I'm glad I did. I'm getting it going, kind of just tinkering around, thinking, oh, it's nothing big. And I set the hook and it didn't move, and I'm like, okay, this is a good fish. Then I get it in, I get it closer. I'm like, oh no, this is a real big fish. Yeah, that was the story. It was fun. I was blown away that it was that kind of fish, that it held it that long, and I got it in. And I'm like, because I was just real nonchalant. I'm thinking, it's some little pounder. You never expect it to be a PB when you catch it. So
that's for sure. Cool. Well, there's nothing funner than a PB, and it doesn't matter if it's 4 pounds or 7 or 10.
Yep.
And you're absolutely right. I think a lot of guys don't realize in our part of the world, a 7-pound fish is a very big fish. It really is. And, if you're in Florida, maybe not. But here, it's a big fish. They just don't get that big. Like the little beast says, the Missouri record is 13 pounds, 14 ounces. And that was probably South Missouri, be my guess. Or it might be a farm pond, food raised, grain fed bass. That's how you get
exactly what I was.
That's how you get a 13-pound bass or 14-pound bass in Missouri.
Yep. Yeah, we have good fish here, and you'll see pictures and stuff of, I'm like, oh, where'd you catch that of? Oh, my grandpa's farm pond. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Can I get access to that? How do I get access there?
Yeah, exactly. And that's my biggest fish up here in Missouri was just right under 10 pounds, and same thing as a farm pond fish.
Damn.
Biggest on a lake, maybe 8 pounds. And that was still ginormous.
Oh yeah.
So PBs are so much fun. It's just such a cool thing you want to get your juices flowing. You want to really get sucked into fishing. Go catch a big one. Something about catching a big one.
That's the cool part is, I'm not a trophy angler. Like I could go out and catch 1.5 pounders and like, that's fun for me. But
yeah,
that's the thing that keeps you coming back is knowing, when I was standing there changing my GoPro battery, I had no clue it was going to be, a big fish. And that's the thing that literally anytime you go out, you can catch your PB. And that's why you keep going out, because it's like, that could be the day, that could be the cast, where you catch it. And you can't catch your PB unless you're out there, casting or reeling.
That's right. So, you got to be casting. Which model GoPro do you use?
I still use actually. Oh yeah, this is my backup one, the GoPro Hero 4, whatever the one is with the screens on the back.
Oh yeah.
This is the one that just got submerged. I was doing underwater footage. Luckily, it's okay, but I still use the GoPro Hero 4. I think it's the black that has the touch screen on the back, but they're awesome because they have the mic input, so you can put a mic in it, so the sound is really good on them.
Yeah,
and they're not fidgety, but there's like a little dongle that comes from here to your like mic thing that you plug it in.
Yeah.
And I busted like probably 15 of those. That's the only bad part is that thing busts really easy.
Well, I'm telling you, the GoPro 9 will change your world. It will rock your world. It's amazing. And I'll tell you the biggest reason why. The battery lasts forever. It's about twice the size of a normal battery. And I have a lot of fishing trips where literally I don't have to change the battery the entire time.
Wow.
And
Jim, I wonder if Jim's still in here because he's had, I don't know if is the 9 the newest one?
I think it's the newest one. I don't think they've come out with anything newer than the 9 yet.
Have you
I've had mine for over a year though, so I don't know.
Had any overheating issues?
Yes. I have overheating with the 9, the 8, the 7. I got all 3 of those, and
really,
they all overheat. You just have to know. You just have to know how to deal with them.
He said, he said as long as you change the battery or something, then you're okay. But it's like, I don't know what he was saying.
What it is the battery does overheat in really hot conditions. So if you're on a really hot day and you're running it continuously, then it's a problem. But what I do is I use the voice commands, and unless I'm fishing topwater, I don't start recording until I got a fish on. Oh. And then you just tell as soon as you hook into a fish, GoPro start recording. It automatically starts recording. Then when you're done, GoPro stop recording, and it stops.
See, I used to try to do that and save, and I would miss like 5 hours of fishing because I wasn't recording half the time. So I have to record everything. Like I'm bad at it.
I've tried that looping feature. Have you tried the looping? Looping feature is actually super clever if it really worked perfect, but it doesn't work perfect every time. Basically what happens is you start recording and it just every 5 minutes loops. And what's good about that is all your dead footage you don't need because it's erased. But as soon as you catch a fish, when you're done, you just push the button and it saves that last 5 minutes. And you rarely have a cast that lasts any longer than 5 minutes. It works about 80% of the time, but there's about 20% where for some reason it doesn't work. And so I quit using the looping, but in theory, that's great because you never fill up your card.
Yeah, I've deleted footage. I've missed footage. So I'm on the side now where I try to record every single second I'm out because you never know what's going to happen. Like there's been good trips that I've completely deleted all of, accidentally deleted the whole card, and it was like, like I thought I was just deleting parts that I didn't need. Yeah. And like it was a good day where I'd catch, a couple 5-pounders or something. And it's like, oh, nobody's going to believe me. I'm not even going to tell anyone,
Yeah. Holy cow. So, all right. Debo, here's a question for you. What's the hardest thing you had to learn when you got into making YouTube videos?
I would say editing. I'm not a technical guy. I'm not a computer guy. So like learning how to split videos and cut stuff and like audio tracks and like all that was super foreign to me. So
editing really sucks.
Yeah.
yeah, what I've learned is that I am not very dynamic on camera. When I'm doing a video in front, I would think that I'm pretty animated. Internally, I think, yeah, I'm really animated. Then you go back and watch it, and you're like, geez, that's boring. I hardly even raise my voice, And I didn't realize this until guys started commenting, man, you're so dull, you're so boring. So I've had to force myself to raise my voice and talk louder and be more animated on the camera. That's been hard for me to learn.
Yeah, that was something I did early on. Like, that was one of the reasons I got into YouTube, is because my buddies are like, I was very against social media. Like, I never had Facebook. I didn't have Facebook until I started this.
Yeah.
I only had MySpace for like a little bit, and that was it. Like, no Facebook, I didn't watch YouTube, really, any of that. And my buddies were like, yeah, there's people that do fishing videos and stuff. I'm like, seriously? Like, yeah, you should do some. I was teaching some guys that I work with, that had never fished before. They're like, you're really good at it. So I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. And then, I kind of get into it. And a lot of the instructions, I'm like, man, this is a wealth of knowledge. I didn't know fishing YouTube was a thing. And, there was a bunch of good stuff out there. YouTube fishing videos was one of the first guys I started watching. And then, you see like Fluke and Tackle Junkie and a lot of these people. I'm like, man, this is cool. But a lot of the stuff, like you were saying, was just kind of guys up there talking, and being out of college. I'm like, I hated when teachers would just stand up there and talk. So I tried to be dynamic, and a lot of my stuff kind of came off too much, because usually I'm pretty animated. Like, when I'm like, I'm going to animate it even more. And like, it was a little overbearing. Like, I go back and watch some of my stuff. I'm like, this Debo would drive me nuts. But, I was trying to be fun with it. And, you have to find like you're saying, you have to find that kind of right middle road, because nobody's perfect.
It's funny, like, hey, Fishing with Gramps, thanks, man. Appreciate the super chat. Glad to have you on. I know you just did a live stream with him. You're kind of like the live stream king right now, Debo. You're everywhere.
I get around the block.
Yeah, you do. What's it take to edit a 20-minute video? How long does it take? You just get better with time, don't you?
It depends. Yeah. Like, if it's like unboxings and stuff where you can sit down and talk to a camera, those actually go real easy, because you're just cutting dead space.
Yeah.
But if it's like a whole day of footage, like, there's so much stuff I forget. And I want to like if I'm out fishing with like Randy, I want to try to get some of those funny moments and stuff. And there's conversations in there I completely forget that we had. So I'm running through, 6 hours of footage. It takes a while.
It does, man. The cast and catch sort of videos, boy, that you can spend a lot of time editing those.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even get fancy, like, doing the B-roll and all the like crazy cuts and like,
I know.
I'm pretty boring in my editing, but I'm
not very glam. As you can see, I don't even have a pretty header around this thing. But if you don't subscribe to Fishing with Gramps, guys, go check out his channel. He's got a sweet channel. And man, he just did his review of his pickup truck. That's a pretty cool truck he's got there, man.
I haven't seen that yet.
Fishing with Gramps.
Did you get Silverado, I want to say?
Yeah, Silverado.
Okay.
Silverado. Yep. Yeah. And he's got a good channel. All right. What's been the best unexpected perk doing YouTube videos? I know what it is for me. I wonder if you'll say the same thing.
For me, hands down, the biggest thing, and people always think money. And if you're in YouTube for money, you have went down the wrong road so far, because you're going to get pennies, half a pennies on the time that you spend in it.
That's right.
For me, it's the comments and stuff that we get like this from people saying, I learned how to do this and it caught my PB. I learned XYZ, or like one of the funny sayings on my channel is find wood, pitch to wood. And I get so many people saying that, like, Debo, you need to do a shirt because I heard your voice in my head and I pitched this wood and caught a 3-pound bass. I'm like, yes, that's what keeps me going. That's for sure the biggest perk, is helping other cats out and seeing those. I was gonna say something similar. I was gonna say the community. It's just the community of guys that have a like interest, and it's fun. It's fun to teach them things, and it's fun to learn things from them. And just like old Matthew on here, unless you're like John B. Famous, Matthew is one of these guys who's he is a swim bait nut. He's way more fanatical than me. And I love just talking with him. He'll always send me, like last night, he sent me a link to a swim bait that I could go check out. And
that kind of stuff really makes it way much more
Yeah, and
fun.
you're right. You're right on with the community thing, because there's people that, like, especially now, I've always kind of been kind of a homebody hermit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not big out into partying and, doing that stuff. But like,
Yeah.
there's people that I've only got like a couple real life friends, but there's people that I talk to on my phone that I've met through through the fishing community that I talk to like pretty much daily. And
Yeah.
I've never met
really
them.
true.
Just met them through my channel and stuff,
Yep, absolutely. It's awesome. The other thing is the guys that are really into this and on your channel, I mean, they're good people, man. They don't, I mean, very rarely do they troll you or do anything, like you hear with a lot of these other types of channels. The fishing community is just all good people.
Yep. Yeah. I've dealt with very little of that. And you can tell the people are just kind of like random people that come through and watch a video, because it's like a name I've never heard of. Like, one guy said, who would listen to this guy on fishing advice? He's got a fake beard glued on or something like that. So some dude had a fake beard. Somebody else made fun of like my nose and my ears, and it's like, people, I'm like, dude, you think I've never heard that before? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I've had a few insults myself, but I mean, what can you do about that?
It bothers you.
Those people have no life at all.
Really. Oh yeah, yeah. Because like, you pour so much into a video, and like, I remember one, I was wearing purple socks. They were. I just got done playing basketball. I played in like a rec league, and I went out to shoot a video, and I still had like my purple Nike. I don't even know what they call them, purple basketball socks. And some guys like, I had like multiple people like, who would listen to fishing advice from a guy who wears purple socks? There's no way this guy's fish. And I'm like, I worked hard on this video.
Yeah. I had one video where I didn't wear a hat. You couldn't believe all the comments like, holy cow, what, I can't believe what you look like without a hat. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
That's what I get without glasses. Like, I can't really see that well, but like, people are like, oh, you look like you're blind. I'm like, yeah, kind of.
Oh, man. All right, let's ask another Debo question. All right, guys, those of you who watch his channel, he recently did a video about a chatterbait. And he said, this chatterbait is made for bank fishing. What's that chatterbait called?
I stand by that statement.
What is that chatterbait called?
Oh, Chris won. I was just going to say, I wonder if Chris is still in here talking about people that I've got to know. He's another Iowa boy. We talk pretty frequently.
Chris, you got it, dude. The cross eyes with a Z, actually, but that's just Z-Man. They love to put Z's on everything. But I've got that as well, and I got that Z-Man cross eyes from Burley as well. I'm pretty sure he sent it to me, or you sent it to me, one of the two.
No, I sent you one of the. I've actually not got to use them. I picked up a couple in the order when I got them for you. Is the Z-Man? It looks like the Elite, but it's got like a fiber brush guard. Is what I sent you.
Oh yeah, what's that one called? Yeah, I know. It's like the.
I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I have fished with that, and it actually is. All their chatterbaits are great. To tell you the truth, they all catch fish really, but the cross eyes, I probably would not have bought that if Burley not sent it to me. And this is another fun thing about doing share and tackle, doing tackle swaps and stuff like that. Is we try to send each other something that maybe you haven't tried, at least one or two of them anyway. And when I got that, I thought, I probably wouldn't have bought this, but I went out and fished with it, and man, it was fire. It was great. It was really great. So I've gone ahead and bought quite a few of those now. And the two little wire weed guards work pretty good.
Dude, they work really good.
Yeah. I was afraid that the blade might interfere somehow. The actual blade might interfere with those weed guards, but it doesn't seem to be, and it doesn't seem to affect the hookup ratio either, does it?
No, I'm sure, maybe a little people say that, with something sticking up like that, but for bank fishing, I'll take maybe you miss a fish over not getting hung up every second cast. Because with a regular chatterbait, man, I lose more of those than any other lure bank fishing. It even sniffs a piece of wood close to it, and it's like, nope, I'm grabbing on, stuck. I
know it. That's the only downside with a chatterbait is they love wood, man, and you're talking about fine wood. Those things, geez, they know how to find wood, and stay.
Stick to wood, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's funny how we kind of get these sayings. One of the sayings I've got with my channel is frog fur. And anything that's gimmicky, ridiculous, silly, I call it frog fur because we got these frogs these boom boom frogs that came with a frog fur patch. Have you seen those things?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, man, we'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it really holds on better. Okay, whatever.
It holds on to gunk and algae and stuff, slime really well. I'll tell you that.
It'll hold the slime great. The carbon fiber chatterbait. Have you seen any of those? I have. Picasso has come out with an entire armada of brand new chatterbaits. I think that's what he's talking about. They got carbon fiber blades, and they got metal blades, and they got different head shapes, and they got different hook sizes. They're all kind of part of an Aaron Martin's designed partnership. And I am telling you, there's might be 15 or 20 different types to choose from. You can go get them in the Tackle Warehouse, I'm pretty sure, but they're not in stock right now, or at least they weren't a couple weeks ago.
It's a carbon fiber blade?
Yeah. It's a carbon fiber blade.
That's interesting.
And of course, I got to try that, right? We got to try a carbon fiber bladed chatterbait. Picasso Lures makes an incredible chatterbait as well.
Jim, Tackle Junkie, swears by their stuff. He sent me a couple, and they start right away.
I love them. They're great. In fact, Picasso has a weedless chatterbait vibrating jig that works excellent as well, that you may want to try, Debo, if you've not tried around wood. It works very, very well also. I think they call it the HD or the heavy cover. Yeah, the heavy cover bladed jig.
I think I did actually buy a couple of those. I'll have to look.
They do work.
I think Jim probably bought all of them. That's why you can't get any. But I've never even heard of these. These are cool. I didn't know those existed.
Yeah, they do look very cool, don't they? They're pretty new. They're pretty new. In fact, they should all be out of stock. Did they say all out of stock on the
website?
It
says 10-1. They don't have them until 10-1.
Yeah. I tried to buy some a couple weeks ago. It was the same thing.
But, that's sweet.
All right, we need to spin the wheel here for Chris before I forget.
Yeah, Kyle brings up a good point. He said, I found wood, threw the wood, and still got it lost. That is the bad part about a chatterbait. You can still get it lost. Like if you get it in the fork of something, like that blade, I think still that can kind of get caught up. But I guarantee, Kyle, if you throw that crosshays around wood, you're going to keep it a lot longer than you will a normal one, for sure.
And this is why you never buy one, man.
Dude, it never fails. When I buy one, I guarantee I've caught a few fish on it, and then I look in there and I'm like, crap, I only bought one.
I was fishing yesterday this Topwater plug that came in the mystery tackle box by Weston Lures. It's called the Spot On, and it's kind of a shorter Topwater plug. And so I wanted to try it since it was new to me. And, dude, the fish were just tearing that thing up. It was amazing. And I threw it up there. I'd been fishing with it maybe 45 minutes or so. Threw it up there. A fish hit it, took it straight down. And the next thing I know, I'm hung up on wood. Lock. And I tried to do everything in my power to rescue that lure. And I actually did save it. But the whole time I was thinking, dude, I've only got one of these. I've only got one of these. I've only got one. Replace it. Oh, man. And that's what happens, man. So, and like you said, if you're throwing around wood and you're throwing a chatterbait of any brand, you need multiple. You got to have more than one. You're going to lose them. You are going to lose them. All right. So what does Chris want? Does he want a hard bait? Does he want something out of the miscellaneous bucket or soft plastic? Let us know, Chris, and we'll get it for you.
Somebody was asking, Fish in the Southeast, another good guy. He's always in my lives and stuff too, good supporter. Stubbs is good. He's upstairs now. I have the door shut. Otherwise, he'd probably be running around down here.
Yeah. There's something about dogs, man. They're just I love my dog.
He's a good dude.
I take my dog fishing, but yesterday he wasn't having it. I took him out on the kayak, and after about 40 minutes, he was like, I'm done. I'm like, well, the problem is we're out here. You may be done.
We're not.
But we're here.
Yeah.
We are here.
Yeah. People have asked me, when are we going to see a fishing trip with Stubby Dog? Stubby's great around kids, cats, dogs, everything you can think of except rabbits. he jumped our fence twice. We had to actually put up like a 7-foot privacy fence because we
Really?
just had a regular, whatever it is, 3 foot or whatever the 4 foot, like the chain link fences
Uh-huh.
are. He jumped it twice, and luckily we got him
Wow.
back both times. But yeah, we had to put up a privacy fence. So
Just
he's not
go
a fan of
crazy.
rabbits.
That reminds me. I've read a really good book. It's called Travels with Charlie by a real famous author. I can't think of his name at the moment, but it's about him traveling around the country with his dog.
Hmm.
And he has a super gentle dog. It's a full grown poodle that he takes all over the country. He's a very famous author. Man, I can't, anyway, he takes his dog all over the country. Super gentle dog. He kind of does this nomad trip where he wants to see the world and meet the world, meet the country. He wants to see the real people, not the city people.
Mm-hmm.
So he travels all over the country. Then he gets to Yellowstone. When he gets to Yellowstone, the guy in the guard shack says, "I don't know if you should take that dog in. We got a lot of bear activity going on right now." And he's like, "Listen, my dog is as gentle as they come. My dog he's never been interested in a rabbit. He's never been interested in any kind of anything. And I guarantee
No.
he'll be as gentle and nice." John Steinbeck, that's right, Texas Huntsman. John Steinbeck. He wrote The Grapes of Wrath. He also he wrote this great book called Travels with Charlie. And anyway, he gets in there, and lo and behold, there's a bear, and Charlie, the dog, goes nuts. He goes so crazy insane that he has to put him in the back of his camper. And he said that he just totally destroyed the camper, totally destroyed. And it's just like, who is this dog? I cannot believe what has happened to my dog. And so he basically had to turn around and come back. And the guy at the guard shack's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "You're right, dude. We can't risk a night here, man.
Right.
It's dangerous." All right, so Chris wants a hard bait. Let's see what we got here. All right, we've got a Lucky Strike Rick Clunn square bill. This was about a 1.5 inch square bill. This is a nice color for the fall if you're around shad. This is Snow Leopard. This is the Series R3 rattling.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Rick Clunn. So what's on your schedule this week, Debo? What are you going to be working on that guys might be interested in or be looking forward to on your channel?
It's not going to come out tomorrow. Tomorrow's video is just kind of I don't even know how to explain it. It was a tough summer fishing day where 3 hours had passed and we hadn't even had a bite. Finally got into some action. It was a grinder. It was a lot of work to catch. But it ended up being pretty funny. There's some good back and forth between old Randizzle and myself. And then I just filmed right before this a video about braid. Tons of questions about braid. Should you use it? Yes, no, when, where. So it's just kind of an overall to help some of the beginners about that. Some advantages, disadvantages, kind of when and where I use it. Cool. I've got a couple other fishing videos this week from a couple weeks ago. I hadn't gotten edited yet, so I think it'll be a 4-video week. People will be, it's like Christmas.
You got a lot coming out. So do you have a schedule you try to follow, like a minimum amount of videos you try to put out, or do you just kind of go with the flow?
They usually just go with the flow. I try to do 3 a week. I try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but like last week that didn't work out, so it was just 2 videos. It just depends on my schedule, man. It sucks. I wish I could do YouTube and fishing stuff full time, but it's hard with a full-time job and trying to do this. And
I know it.
It's a tough work.
I got the same problem. I think most of us YouTubers do. We're all working full-time job. Most of us are anyway, and it's time consuming. It really is, because you can't just make a fishing video. You got to go fish,
right?
Yep. And then, like you said, if it's a grind, people don't get too excited about watching you fish and not catch.
Yeah. Yep.
The other thing that blows me away, I don't know on your statistics, but it seems to me like fishing videos are not nearly as popular as something like an unboxing. I can't figure that out. Why Why would a guy be more interested in watching an unboxing than a fishing video?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It used to be like the unboxings used to do really well, and I noticed my unboxings have kind of
Have they?
and I don't know if it's just because there's so many people doing unboxings now. You
Yeah.
can literally watch all kinds of cool stuff out there.
I know you can.
So it's kind of, I don't know. My videos kind of go up and down. It's weird. I haven't figured out the algorithm. I'm not that popular yet to get it cracked, but
yeah. Well, you're doing something right. You've definitely achieved a lot of what a lot of us would like to achieve for sure. Let's see here. So what would you say is your wheelhouse technique, the technique that you kind of always gravitate towards if you're on subconscious mode?
It kind of depends. Like my favorite for sure, if I could go out and just fish and just have fun, frog. I would frog fish all day, every day if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now with some of that starting to die off and stuff, I'm going to be changing up. I hope I can get a couple more good frog sessions in. That's for sure my favorite. As far as like my biggest confidence bait ever is a spinner bait. I can pretty much catch fish on a spinner bait. I feel like most places I go, if the conditions are right. It's kind of a big loud lure, so it's not, it doesn't work everywhere, but I would say like a Texas rig probably too. Like a Texas rig craw, creature bait, or worm.
Yeah.
I've got so many fish on a regular old weighted Texas rig. There's a fly.
You're not kidding. That is pretty sweet. Speaking of frogs, let's make that the next question here. Okay, guys. Debo on his Instagram posted a picture of a couple of frogs very recently. What are the name of those frogs that he just posted on Instagram here in the last day or two?
I was going to call that out. Texas Huntsman. I don't know. I don't know that I recognize his name on my channel. I hope he starts watching my stuff because I've been cracking up. One of them earlier, he said, Debo lives in Iowa. He basically lives in Canada. Now I just noticed he said, you need to save your money and move away from Canada so you can frog fish longer. I do, man. I feel like I pretty much live in Canada.
That's true.
It will be.
All right. Nobody's got it yet. Not that I see here. Oh, man. Ninth child's close. There you go. Ninth child got it. The fat frog from Snag Proof. Why don't you tell the world about the fat frog, Debo?
Do I have them down here? I just picked some up. I honestly have never used a Snag Proof frog. I don't remember when I was looking. It's been, I don't know, maybe a year ago or whatever. I got one of the older Snag Proofs, but I just realized that they're under American Bait Works, which is kind of interesting. I want to get somebody on, maybe Alex from Oklahoma's Worst Angler, because I'm pretty sure he works with them because they own like Halo, Snag Proof.
Oh, I think he's Scum Frog, isn't he?
Yep. They're under the American Bait Works flag.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, they're all subsidiaries.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. I'm not sure why they have like the Snag Proof and there's that fly again. Why does it keep get out of here? I'm not sure why they have both, but the ones I've got, they seem solid. Literally, he's back again.
Well, I'm telling you, if you have not fished Snag Proof, you've got to get a Bobby's Perfect Frog.
I did grab a couple of those. Is that the new ones they just put out?
Well, I've fished the old ones. I've fished Bobby's Perfect Frog for years and years, and it is an excellent frog.
Never fished them.
Yeah, you got to try them. You will really like that. I've never tried their fat frog, so who knows how it'll work. But the Bobby's Perfect, just like Fishing the Southeast says, it's amazing. I agree with him. The Bobby's Perfect is pretty darn perfect. You're gonna like it.
I'll definitely grab some. Were they the old ones that had like the silly? Speaking of frogs, I have one of the best ever. I think ever made, the Freak from Spro. The damn fly. Were they the ones back in the old day where they had like, I want to say they had, or was it Scum Frog that had like the old? It was like kind of a mouse shape, I want to say, and it had like those almost spinnerbait or
I think that's Scum.
Was that Scum? Okay,
I think that's Scum.
Because I remember I had a couple of those when I was younger, and I didn't know what I was doing with the frog, and I left them in my tackle box too long, and they were like the uppers where they would get all gross and melted and stuck together. And then I was like, yeah, frogs are dumb, and I never fished them for time after that. But
So fishing the Southeast says that the new bobbies is way better. So maybe I better try a new bobbies. I have not bought a new bobbies.
I got a couple of those. I got a couple of those with the fat frogs.
Okay. There's something about that perfect frog, dude, that really, really, it's off the charts. It's great. It really, really, really is. Frog fishing is one of those things, though, where I think some guys either love it or hate it. You've got to, you gotta know how to set the hook. You know,
if you could go out and I said for fun, you could fish anything on it all day. What's your favorite thing? Chatterbait.
My thing. Probably a chatterbait. Yeah, it probably is a chatterbait. I've had periods where I've fished frogs a lot. I haven't fished frogs a lot in the last couple of years, although this week I did fish the tataki frog. I tried that. And
it's actually a pretty sweet frog.
It is a pretty sweet frog. It's heavy. It's weighted. It's got this weighted system around the hook, like a weight kind of wrapped around the hook. And so it casts really, you can cast it really, really far. And they say that weight system is supposed to help it walk the dog well. But I didn't try walking the dog with it. I was going over a lot of mats and stuff. And I did miss quite a few fish with it, but I don't think that was the frog's fault. I think it's just such thick stuff I was fishing over. It's got these little, where the hook points come up, it's got these two little concave areas for the hook to kind of rest in, which is supposed to help make it more weedless. But the problem, I think, with that is that I noticed the plastic that wrapped around that hook kind of sitting in that cavity, the hook point would get caught in it. And I think that might hurt the hookup ratio on that thing. I don't know for sure. I think what I'll probably end up doing is just bending the hooks out a little bit so they're not sitting in those little grooves.
What's your most hated thing? So if I said you have to go out and fish this, it's your worst nemesis, and you're like, oh no, I'd rather just stay at home.
Yeah,
but you know you're going to catch fish. That's the thing is I can tell you you're going to catch fish on it. You have to fish it.
It's probably a jerk bait, to tell you the truth.
Really? Yeah. Soft or hard?
Say again?
Like a soft, like a fluke, or like a hard jerk?
Like
bait?
a hard jerk bait.
Okay.
And it's not. I mean, you can catch fish jerk bait fishing. I mean, it's an amazing technique. I got tons of them. I fish with them, but it's just not that fun for me unless I'm catching. If I'm catching, then it's a blast. But what I found with jerk bait fishing is you do it a lot in super cold conditions. The temperatures are brutal. You're miserable out there, freezing your tail off, and the bite's really slow. Now there are those windows where it's on fire and it's crazy. But that being said, I really have not found a technique that I hate. That's just probably one of my least favorites. But I don't have a technique that I just say, oh, geez. Because I really like fishing slow. I really like fishing fast. I'm not, I know some people like KVD, he's a power fisherman. He wants to fish fast. Well, I love fishing fast, but it's not going to kill me if I got to sit in there with a Ned rig and just barely move the bait all day. I'll do that.
Yep.
So what's your least favorite?
Drop shot.
Drop shot.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm same as you. Like, I don't mind finesse or power fishing. Like, I'll do either if it's just fly. I am jump through the wall. I don't mind fishing slow. Like, I'll throw a wacky rig or a Ned rig, but like the deal with and this is really coming from more of a bank fishing side. Like if I was out on a boat or something, I'm sure it'd be better, fishing up with the guys like in Michigan and stuff on some of those places. But you throw it out, it's like 2 casts and I've got the weight snagged. Okay. Then I break the weight off. Then 2 casts later and I broke the whole rig. So now I have to figure out, okay, where do I need my hook? So then 27 minutes later, I finally get it all rigged up again. 3 casts in, I broke it off. I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have to retie a leader. Now I have to it's just like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I've fished up north so much with the drop shot now that I really, really like it. But down here, it's harder to find applications when it works. Especially, I fish around so much timber as well. Mm-hmm. Try fishing a drop shot around timber. All right, we got to spin the wheel here for 9th Child. Right? We haven't spun for him yet, have we?
Nope.
I don't think we have. Looks like he said he wanted my fish tools box. Whoa! You're a winner, and you can pick one person on the live chat, Ninth Child, to win a prize as well. So let me know what you want, and then select your winner, and then we'll let them pick.
I just realized you hit every one of the special picture ones that you have on there tonight.
Yeah, is that weird? That's never happened to me. I don't think that's ever happened to me. So you're definitely bringing some good mojo.
Woo! Love it.
Mr. Bass, because of you, I've been really forcing myself to use the FG knot. Dude, that FG knot, oh man, it's a real deal, but golly, I'm still not good at it. What's your knot of choice, Debo?
Alberto.
For tying a leader.
Alberto.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I can tie that in my sleep. I agree with you, dude. The FG is thin, super strong, but it takes me.
Oh,
I never get it right the first time, and I'm just like, I can tie the Alberto in my sleep, eyes closed.
Well, I'm the same way with the uni. I do the double uni. I've done the double uni forever, but man, the double uni does not pass through guides that great. Yeah. And so I've been working on the FG, and I've watched a lot of videos on it and been practicing like crazy. But I'm still not perfect at it yet. All right. Did I, let's see.
I don't know. There he is.
Has he responded yet here?
He just did. So he has to pick someone. Yeah.
So Night Child, you need to pick somebody on the screen, on the comments to win. And then you tell me so you tell me what you want. Hard bait, soft bait, or something out of the miscellaneous bucket. The miscellaneous bucket has spinner baits, it has fishing line, it has swag, it has terminal tackle, it has anything that's not a hard bait or soft plastic. All right, so he wants a hard bait. And now you've got James saying, pick me. So while he's doing that, I will pull this out here. All right. The Lunker Hunt /12S, and this is a perch color. This is
it's a good color.
What color is this? I don't know what color it is, but it looks like a perch color to me. And he picks Mr. B's Honey, because that's a good name. All right, Mr. B's Honey. What do you want, man? Mr. B's. I got to write this stuff down right when it happens, or it's gone forever.
I know the struggle. That's the other part about Instagram is that I'll have people reach out to me on Instagram, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I got their message, and then I'll be, go to bed or do whatever the next day. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get that giveaway from a couple days ago. Then I'm like, crap, what was that guy's Instagram name? I've got his real name, but the Instagram name doesn't match. Then I'm like going through and trying to find. I'm like, oh crap.
All right, Mr. B actually has a honey company. It's real honey. How about that?
Oh, cool.
And he's given me the choice to pick. So I'm going to pick something on miscellaneous bucket. I'm going to give him this waterproof bag from Gambler Lures.
Cool.
And this is a 5-liter bag. It's got, this is an awesome waterproof bag. It's even got a carry handle if you want. And I've gotten to where I carry a waterproof bag anytime I get on the boat. And I also take it when I go on fishing trips now. So
I think Mr. Stubby's down here. I'll let him in.
All right. Seven beehives on his farm. That's cool. I like that wild honey, man. That's good for you. It's good stuff. Save the bees. Save the bees. You can watch this girl on TikTok. She comes to save. She does all these save the bees deals. It's pretty wild.
Come here. Say hi.
Pretty cool. All right, we've got 20 minutes left here, so
Mr. Stubby, I figured I'd let him in to say hi.
Right
You're a
on,
good
Mr. Stubby. How's it going?
He's a good boy. He'll lay down here.
Sweet. All dogs are welcome on the Mr. Bass channel for sure.
Okay, so here's a question: peanut butter and honey, or peanut butter and jelly?
Good question. Yeah, what do you guys think? Peanut butter and honey or peanut butter and jelly? That's a great question. I prefer the jelly.
I'm a peanut butter and honey guy. I like both, especially like biscuits with honey. Oh man.
No, I love biscuits with honey. My grandmother used to make a killer biscuit, and with honey, it's out of this world. But if I'm doing a sandwich with the old peanut butter, I want my jelly. In fact, I get those frozen peanut butter and jellies whenever I go fish tournaments, and those make good snacks during the day. You ever had those, the Crustables or Uncrustables or something?
I've heard of those. No, I've never tried them.
They're frozen in a box. I mean, they're probably just chock full of preservatives. There's probably nothing actually natural in them at all, but they work great on the boat.
I just take regular, like a Ziploc bag of just peanut butter. Oh, you just have those in, on bread. Throw those in because you don't have to refrigerate.
Look at Boots for peanut butter and mayo. Come on, dude. You're killing me.
Mayo?
Peanut butter and mayo? Oh, my goodness.
I've never tried it. I can't knock it. I mean,
I'll tell you another thing I like with peanut butter: bananas. Peanut butter and bananas.
Not a banana guy.
That is really good. All right. Let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about making lures. You make these lures, and I mean, how do you come up with designs to paint? I mean, what's your inspiration? What do you because when I think about trying to paint a lure, that's the one thing I think I'd really screw that up.
No,
where'd that come from?
I think you would be in the same boat as I am. I think like I was saying before, I have zero artistic ability. Like I cannot draw. Like I'm barely able to draw stick people. I've never painted. Like I've never done any of that. And that was the hardest part for me, was learning like, okay, what colors go here? How do I put, a base coat, and then what colors are going to reflect or, contrast against, just like simple color wheel stuff. Like I was never in art, never my thing. So that was the hard part for me. However, I guarantee you would have a good go at it, because like me, I know a ton of baits and I know a ton of different bait colors. So like I can rattle off on my head, fire tiger, ghost minute. Like I can go through a whole lineup, and then I'm like, okay, how do I put my spin on it? What would be cool? So I think you'd be a lot better than you think it because of that, and you just have to get the airbrush thing down.
Gotcha.
But as far as what I decide, I don't know, man. Sometimes I just sit down and start slinging random stuff. I've actually done really cool baits where, like, let's say I'm sitting down, I'm going to do like 10 bluegill cranks, and I'll be painting the bluegill, but whatever I have left in the gun, I'll just like do a random layer on something, and like, okay, then like just to kind of see what's going to happen. Of course, I said he'd lay down. Now he's got some toy down here squeaking and running around. But I've done some cool stuff that way. So
cool. That's awesome. All right, here's the next question, guys. When Debo and I did a tackle exchange, he gave me one of his custom painted lures. What kind of lure was it that he gave me? What kind of lure did Debo send me? That's a good question. Somebody's going to get it, though. You got to be specific on the crankbait. Oh, my webcam girl still popped up again. George got it. George is first here. It was a lipless crankbait. And it was a beauty. In fact, I got it up here. I'm going to show it to you guys. Let me take it out of the package. The problem with having one specialty painted lure from Debo, you can't ever fish the thing. I mean, it's like I was saying before. Don't ever go with just one. Check that out, man. That's a nice color. This looks like a pretty original color, too, because, I mean, I've seen some oranges before, some reds, but That's a nice color there. And you even got the fancy hook on there with the
Yeah.
bling bling going.
Yeah, those were. I only had 2 of those blanks. I had a green one and that one, so I saved that one for you. And
Dude, that is
those are pretty
beautiful.
cool.
I've had lots of guys say, "I want that, I want that." I'm like, I'm probably not giving this one away. Debo's gonna have to send me more than one for me to give it away. So, but that's a nice paint job, man. How good can you see it on the screen? On my screen, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I lost all comments, so I don't know. I can't see. It says looks like your embedded link is in. I don't know what happened there.
Uh-oh.
What that means, but I can't see comments or anything now. So,
Huh. Well, I've still got them. Anyway, this is the kind of work he does. And if you go to DEBO'SFishing.com, you can buy some of this stuff as soon as he gets a new drop. So check it out, boys and girls. He does not do, I mean, he says he's not an artist. What do you call that? If that's not art, man, what is?
that's luck. That's luck slinging paint on a lure. Got
My
lucky.
wife's an artist, and I've been trying to tell her, you could do stuff like this. You'd
Oh,
be
dude,
amazing.
she could if she has artistic background for sure.
She's super artistic. She does amazing stuff. So this was sweet. I mean, this is kind of how you blew me out of the water with our tackle exchange, because I had nothing this awesome I could send you. But that was a cool gift, man. Appreciate that.
For sure, man. For sure.
All right. Let's see. How am I doing on my questions? Did I do? Yeah, we did honeybee. We got to get George going here. We got to let George spin, because George got it right. The lipless. The DEBO's lipless. Do you have special names for any of your baits?
No, the naming thing is kind of been an afterthought. I need to get better names. My names aren't very good. They're pretty lame.
Oh, he almost got the mega prize, the DHT.
Dang.
But you won 2, George. You can pick 2. You can pick 2 out of the same bucket, or you can mix and match however you want. Just let me know on the screen what floats your boat, and we will take care of it. It's not already says yet. No one wants to fish DEBO stuff because it's all so well done.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, exactly. That is cool. So is George, can you still not see the comments?
No, mine are gone now. I don't know what happened.
All right. George wants 1 hard and 1 miscellaneous. All right. So here's a miscellaneous, and here's a hard bait. All right. So for your hard bait, we've got a Strike King Lucky Shad. This is an oyster color. And that's a nice color. That's a very natural color.
It's a good river crank.
Yeah. The Strike King Lucky Shad, and from the miscellaneous bucket, the Chase Baits Rip Snorter.
I like the name.
It has a snap lock and a spare snap lock hook with it. The Weedless Vibe Snap Lock Snorter. Olive white bait is this color.
They've come out with quite a few things. I think I sent you some chase bait, those flaccid shads or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
you did. I haven't.
And then
fished
Burley
them yet.
sent me one. That was why I picked them, because I'd never heard of them. They must be pretty new.
Yeah. So have you fished any chase baits lures?
No, I need to get that bag. I was trying to find it the other day of Burley stuff, and I was going to do a Burley challenge, and I need to figure out where I put it. But he sent those things that look like kind of like a squid with like the I don't remember what those are called, but they have like the flappy side things.
Yeah. They make several of their lures I've started using, and I really like them. I think they're durable, and they got some nice action. They make a big curly tail, a big single tail grub. I can't remember what they call that, and it works really good on the back of a chatterbait. Chase baits have some pretty good stuff, I think. I want to try that flaccid shad thing. That looks interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I was thinking like back of a swim bait, or I've never tried them, so you'll have to let me know. And I remember, I think he sent me the love bug, so it almost looks like a turbo craw mixed
Oh
with a
yeah.
beaver, and then it's got like a flappy side thing where like the beaver body is. Almost looks like a squid, like if you look at a squid on the side. I
Uh-huh.
haven't used them yet. I need to find that bag. Do that.
That is one thing about these monthly tackle box subscriptions is sometimes you'll get stuff like that. Like you might get the Rip Snorter, and you would never try that. You might not ever buy that, but you go ahead and try it, and then you're pleasantly surprised. It's kind of what happened to me on a lot of these boxes send out baits from a company I think called Smart Baits, where they change color in the water.
Hmm.
And to me, that's frog fur. I mean, come on, you're giving me a green swim bait, and when I put it in the water, it turns red. You know, I mean,
Right.
come on,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
But I got one that I put. I said I'm just going to go try to fish this, and it was one of those chase baits that turns red, and I actually caught quite a bit of fish with it. And I was like, wow, crazy. I guess it's not total frog fur. I don't think it was enough that I'm going to go out and buy a bunch of them, but still, there have
Right.
been times when I've got one of those. Like another thing that I got in a box recently was one of these Yappa rats. Have you ever seen those?
Is that
Lunker
Lunker Hunt?
I think, makes them,
Yeah,
or
it's got like the lip on the front of it, like
yeah,
a
it's got a
jitterbug.
cup lip. And that's another one I probably would not buy, but I got it in one of the boxes, and I really caught quite a bit of fish on it. So I kind of liked it. Yeah, hey, Fishing the Southeast is sharing my email address there. If you need it to claim your prize, you can send me a DM on Instagram at Mr. Bass TV if you want, or you can send me an email, mrbasstv@protonmail.com. If you're interested, my fish count for the year is 570.
Dang.
So I still got a long way to get to my 1,000 fish goal. I'm gonna have to have a killer fall to make this thing happen. But I got 1,000 fish goal, and I'm barely over halfway.
That's awesome. I have no clue. I'm probably at like 100. It hasn't been a great year, especially for frog fishing. This has been the worst frog fishing year I've had in.
Well,
I don't know.
there's some downsides to having 1,000 fish goal, and one of the downsides is because you're going for numbers, you have a tendency to, like, I haven't fished my swim baits this year because every time I think about tying one on, I think, geez, man, I might only catch one fish the whole day, and I got this 1,000 fish goal. And so even when I've brought them out, I've only thrown them a few minutes, and then I've gone back to stuff that I know is going to catch me because I'm so concentrated on trying to hit 1,000. So I may rethink that. I may not have 1,000 fish goal anymore after this year, but I'm going to stick with it the whole year until I know for sure.
I tip my hat to you. That's hard. Even just keeping count.
Yeah, keeping count alone is a pain in the rear. You're right. Okay, one last question I wanted to ask you is, what about the G-Crack or G-Crap Bellows Gill? Is that thing a total waste or what? Or are you
absolutely not
able to catch anything with it?
Nope. I shouted you out in a video that's been a couple ago, I think. It was a grind of a day. I caught some fish on the G-Crack Bellows Gill. I think only 3 fish that day. One I didn't get on camera. One was a catfish, probably, I don't know.
Really?
4-pound catfish, maybe. Decent catfish. I threw it. Yeah, threw it under a tree, and literally almost as soon as it hit, this catfish come up and grab it.
Wow.
No clue why. Action of them is awesome. Really like them. I actually ordered, I think, 4 or 5 more packs, and I'll shout you out when I do that unboxing. The only thing I hate is they cost too much.
Yeah.
And they're not very durable. But as I always say, and I think you've probably said this too, it's always a durability action trade-off. Like the action on them is really good. The tail is like this little spiky tail that had I didn't think it would look like that in the water, and it's just such a cool profile. I'm like, I gotta try some more. So
no doubt.
I appreciate you sending those, man, because those are ones like I've looked at them and I'm like, man, they're kind of expensive, and I've had them in my tackle warehouse cart about 17 times and then taken them out. So after I got those, I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm gonna order a few more packs and put these to work.
So how do you rig it? I think some people might wonder, how do you rig a G-crack bellows gill? It's a strange looking lure, by the way, if you guys have never seen it. I don't know if I have one handy.
Oh, I do. Hold on.
Okay, cool. Let's see it.
So this was still over there from doing the breakdown. This is the exact bag sent by Mr. Bass in the exact color.
Nice.
Yeah, I was super excited to get these. I just rigged them up on, I want to say a 4 or 5 out. I can't tell you for sure. EWG hook. And I was actually throwing a weightless.
Yeah. So you were throwing it weightless.
Yep. Throwing it weightless like that. No weight on it. Regular EWG hook. And the body is full of ribs. Let's see if I can show this.
Yeah, you can see it.
The body's full of ribs. And just in the middle of the body, that's the only hard part of it. So all this out here is just, and it's really cool because like it catches and holds that water. Like when you take it out, it's heavy. And like it's literally holding all that water in there.
So when you cast out there weightless, are you letting it drop, or are you spinning it quickly, or what are you doing on your retrieve?
I was just letting it drop, and then I pop it like a fluke. I was fishing it like a fluke.
Okay, fishing it like a fluke.
Yep.
So what kind of equipment then were you fishing it on?
I had, funny enough, it was actually on the new Abu Garcia Veritas frog rod. So I think it's like a 7.4, but it's like it's a medium heavy. So it's not. I feel like it's soft for a frog rod. Like I'm used to a little bit heavier stick for frogging, but it's pretty soft and has a good tip. So it's like I actually use that rod for like horny toads or like a rage toad thing. That's why I use this on it, because I use that rod for those type of plastic frogs. Gotcha. So I'm like, I'll just throw this on.
So that's the 3.8 inch size. Somebody's asking. Yeah. I've got the bigger size too, but I think anything bigger, I'm not a big fan of. I didn't realize how enormous the bigger ones are. They are huge. Did I send you any of the really big ones, or just that?
No, just the 3.8. Yep.
Yeah, hold on. I think the 3.8 is about right. It is pretty stinky too, isn't it?
Yeah, I told Randy it smells like popcorn mixed with seafood. It's like seafood popcorn. He's like, I think it smells like garbage. It smells horrible. I'm like,
yeah, it does. It's slimy too. It's super slimy. Good.
Yeah, they're very, very potent.
If you sort of set it on like paper or something, it's going to be like putting a greasy burger on. I mean, just soak it up. I was amazed at how slimy they are.
Yeah, so, I liked them. I want to throw them some more. I've heard a bunch of people saying they free rig it, which I haven't done, but Randy's actually been having a lot of success on it because it's something that neither of us have tried. He's like, heck with it. I'm going to do it. I don't know how else people fish them. I got some of the little ones. They've got like little 2-inch ones that I got. Yeah. I'm like, these look cool on a Ned rig or something. So I don't know. I ordered more, and that was because of you. So I tip my hat to you, sir.
Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you're having some success on it too, because I'm definitely going to watch those videos, because I haven't fished it much myself. I've got it, but I haven't fished it a lot.
Yeah, I've got a buddy here.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've got a buddy here that is about an hour east of me, who's been swearing by him. He's like, Debo, don't make any videos by those, because he's been destroying it on them. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Last question I'm going to do tonight is another Name That Lure, in case you don't know anything about Debo and you feel like you've been ripped off tonight.
Sorry, guys.
So here it is. Here is the last lure, last chance to win a prize tonight. Name this lure. What is that?
And that's funny. I actually had a bunch of people saying that. They're like, oh, the bellows gill looks like this lure. I'm like, no, they're quite a bit different.
Yeah, they are different.
A number of people saying that.
They are different. I put this on the back of the Little B. I think you're it, dude. On the back of a chatterbait and just slayed him. So great action. This little tickle tail thing on the end has great action, and then all these ribs really move a lot of water, and a lot of uses for this thing. Definitely a spinnerbait trailer, chatterbait trailer. Put it on a ball head jig and swim it like you would a swim jig. You could shaky head this. You could Ned rig it. Pretty, it's kind of unique. There's not a lot of lures out there like this. So congratulations to Little B. You are the last winner tonight. 10,000 Fish makes that too. If you guys don't know, there's a package of it. It's kind of weird the way they do this. You would think, okay, this down here must mean that's the name of the bait, the tickle tail. I mean, no, it's up here. This is the name of the bait. The tickle tail is just, I don't know why. Somebody needs to think about their packaging a little bit there. All right.
They make the Tsukoshi bug too, right? That's theirs.
Yeah, they do. They make that, and they got a new little swim bait I'm going to try. It's called the, this is here if you haven't seen it or haven't tried it. It's kind of...
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't tried it. I don't have it.
It's called the Headhunter. And it's kind of a copy of the Dark Sleeper in that it has a hook that's hidden in the dorsal fin like the Dark Sleeper. See that? But it's got a magnet in there so that when you hook it, the hook comes up.
Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so that's very, very unique.
Huh.
And I think the profile is about right. This would be a good pond fish.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's gonna catch. They've only got two colors. They got a bluegill color like this, and they've got a crappie color. So pretty. I definitely want to try it. I like swim baits a lot, big and small. I like swim bait fishing quite a bit. All right, we got a spin for the Little B here. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Debo. It really, really greatly appreciate it.
Time to talk fishing anytime.
Two to Little B. Tell us what you want. I really enjoyed talking with you tonight, and
yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
And you've got you're doing a lot of great things. Guess got a great channel and a really good dude. And
thanks, man. Now I'm trying. That's all community, like you said. That's all their support.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hard bait and miscellaneous. Okay. All right. We'll do a. All right. This is kind of a fairly new lure. The Biospawn Rattlebot Craw lipless crankbait. Biospawn makes all soft plastics, but they've just started hard baits, and this is the only hard bait they make that I know of, the Rattlebot. They make a craw version and they make a bait fish version. And the craw version has eyes, on the back instead of the front. And that looks like a pretty decent color. Magma is that color.
Pretty good spring color. And I think they said the sound is different. I haven't gotten it yet, but I believe the craws have like a one knock.
And they do have a one knock in it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And then an old school Strike King Pure Poison Chatterbait. Not a lot of guys throw these anymore, but they catch fish. So, because Strike King replaced this with the Thunder Cricket, so I don't know if you can even buy. I don't know if you can still buy these or not, but Pure Poison works.
Cool.
So there you go to Little B. Thanks, buddy, for hopping on the channel. And I think we're about done. Have you got anything you want to wrap us up with at all, Debo? Got anything you want people to go check out on your channel or anything?
No. Go check it out if you like the stuff. Subscribe, watch some more. If you don't, no hard feelings. I always say YouTube videos and YouTubers are like music. I'm never offended if somebody's like, it's not my deal.
Exactly.
Like, I get it, man.
Right on.
As long as you're supporting somebody in the fishing community, we're all winning.
That's for sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Have a great week. And you can join me and Steve Wednesday night, 8 o'clock for our show. And what kind of live streams do you have? Do you have stuff scheduled, or what do you do? What's your live stream schedule like?
Yep. I try to go every Saturday night at 7:30. And it's kind of a toss-up, just depending on who I can get on. And you're going to be on here sometime soon when we set up a date.
Heck yeah.
So you are invited. I should
Awesome.
have invited you yesterday. I didn't. Usually it's just me and Randy, and we just kind of throw stuff together. But yesterday he wasn't in town, so
Oh yeah.
let me know.
Yep.
Let me know when you're down if you want to.
Yeah. I'd do it anytime. I'd love to.
Cool.
All right. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. We are ending in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye.